In the heart of Lagos, inside a small two-bedroom apartment painted cream and gold, lived a young couple named Tunde and Amara. They had been married for 3 years, and in those years, they believed they understood money, planning, and how to build a home together. Life felt steady. Their expenses were simple, their routines predictable, and they enjoyed the little comforts of life without stress. But everything changed the day their first child arrived. Her name was Zara, a tiny and beautiful baby girl with bright, curious eyes. Her gentle cries filled their home with warmth, but the expenses she brought were anything but gentle. They came fast, loud, and unexpectedly. Before Zara, Tunde and Amara lived comfortably. Rent was sorted. Feeding was smooth. Transportation was manageable. If they wanted to buy shawarma or suya on a Friday, they bought it without thinking twice. But 2 weeks after Zara came home, their peaceful financial life vanished like smoke. One afternoon, Amara placed a handwritten list on the dining table. Tunde picked it up casually, but the more he read, the more his eyes widened. Diapers, 18,000 naira. Baby formula, 14,000 naira. Wipes, 5,000 naira. Clinic checkup, 8,500 naira. Baby clothes, 12,000 naira. He looked up in disbelief. Amara, are we buying gold-plated diapers? Amara laughed, but the laughter was tired. Tunde, this is just the beginning. And that was when he finally understood. A child doesn't only enter your home. A child enters your wallet. As weeks passed, their expenses tripled. Amara stayed home caring for the baby while Tunde worked extra hours. Stress filled the house like thick air. Arguments started, small disagreements that slowly became bigger ones. One evening, Tunde asked, "Why is money finishing so fast these days?" Amara turned sharply. "Can't you see what I'm dealing with every single day? Zara needs something constantly. It's not like before." They weren't angry at each other. They were angry at the sudden pressure they didn't prepare for. Then came the breaking point. Their landlord sent a message increasing rent by 20%. Tunde sat on the bed, both hands on his head. Amara stood at the door holding baby Zara, tears quietly falling. "We can't continue like this," she whispered. "We just can't." For a moment, their home felt heavy, as if life was swallowing them whole. But that moment became their turning point. The next morning, Tunde came into the living room holding a small notebook. "Amara," he said softly, "let's talk. We need a plan." They sat together, not as two stressed individuals, but as a team again. They listed all their expenses, separated what was necessary from what could wait, made a weekly budget, agreed to track every single kobo, and promised to communicate honestly even on difficult days. From that week, things began to change. Tunde downloaded a budgeting app. Amara learned to buy baby items in bulk. They stopped impulse spending. They cooked more at home. They canceled subscriptions they barely used. Life didn't magically become easy, but they began to breathe again. Slowly, they discovered new ways to earn extra money. Amara started making homemade baby food, smooth, healthy blends, and other mothers in the compound began buying from her. Tunde, who was good with gadgets, started repairing phones and appliances for neighbors over the weekend. It wasn't plenty money, but it brought relief, peace, and hope. One evening, after counting the 28,000 naira they made that month from side hustles, Tunde smiled and said, "You see this life? Sometimes all you need is teamwork." Amara laughed softly, "And prayers." Months passed, and the storm began to settle. One warm evening, they sat on the balcony, watching the orange sunset while Zara slept peacefully in her baby cot. The breeze blew gently. Tunde reached for Amara's hand. You know, Zara taught us something, he said. What's that? Amara asked. That a child doesn't destroy your finances. A child teaches you responsibility, discipline, and partnership. She rested her head on his shoulder and smiled. True, we just needed to adjust. A year after Zara was born, their finances were stronger, their marriage deeper, and their hearts more united. Not because life became easier, but because they became better. Their journey taught them, and teaches every couple, something important. Children don't break a home. Lack of communication does. Children don't destroy finances. Lack of planning does. Children don't weaken a marriage. Lack of teamwork does. And before we close this story, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Stories that inspire, guide, and touch the heart. Tunde and Amara learned that when children enter the picture, everything changes. But with love, planning, and unity, a family can not only survive, they can grow stronger than ever.